Some people would say, of course, that love is what keeps a family together, but these days the economy may be doing its share. In fact, there's some couples who've separated, even divorced, but finding they can't afford to move out, so they're together again. How do you live together when the only thing keeping you there is finances? Tony and Dawn Joyce of Chicago have 4 kids, share family meals, take turns doing the housework. A typical married couple, right? No, they've been divorced for a year and a half.
There's times where it's very frustrating and it is confusing for our children.
There are times when it'd be nice to be able to escape and go and not have to, have a confrontation on some of the issues that we may not agree on.
But the couple can't sell their home, and so because Tony's income as a sales director has been slashed by 18%, the Joyces say living apart is financially impossible.
I would love to move on. I would love for Tony and I to have separate residences right now. We just cannot afford it.
The Joyces acknowledge it's awkward at times. They have different bedrooms, and Dawn has a new boyfriend.
I am actually dating somebody, and this person lives an hour and a half away, so in a way it's probably a good thing just because Tony and I are still living together.
But while the Joyces' living situation may sound unusual, it turns out they're hardly alone. There are now blogs exclusively devoted to divorced couples forced to live together. We came up with our own schedule, writes one, who takes what night for the daughter. It's possible to live together, writes another. You just have to be very grown up and let go of the pain of the actual divorce. I feel trapped, says another. It's insanity, laments one woman. Divorce attorneys concur. They've seen a significant increase in the number of divorced or separated couples cohabiting.
I've actually had a case where we went into court and the judge put an order in stating what days they were allowed to use the kitchen and who got to use the living room, who got to watch the television.
And if there's a bright side to the situation, Tony says he gets to see his kids more than he otherwise would.
It's a temporary situation right now. It's not going to be long-term.
Well, temporary, everyone hopes. We're joined now by family therapist Terry Real, who is the author of The New Rules of Marriage, and it's good to have you with us.
Thank
All
you.
right, let's start with your first rule, really, which is be civil.
You have to be.
Easy to say, but easy to say. Hard to do when you've had something that drove you to divorce.
Yeah, well, let's remember you don't get along. That's why you divorced to begin with. But given that, particularly if there are children involved, Diane, you have to try and be at least good roommates to each other.
So how do you go about that? What are the rules you set that keep you civil and good roommates?
We talk about full respect living. Come hell or high water, you are not disrespectful to your partner. You don't sit on the receiving end of disrespectful behavior and do nothing about it, particularly if they're children. If you're yelling and screaming and carrying on in front of the kids, one of you needs to find a couch somewhere. It is, maybe you can handle it, but it is abusive to the children and has to stop.
And so somebody should get out long enough before they say a single crossroad.
That's right. Take a time out, take a walk around the block, but do not give yourself permission to fight in front of the children.
I saw you shaking your heads at the couple that actually had a schedule of who could watch TV when.
Yeah.
That and duct tape.
Yeah.
Duct tape off
Now leave the
rooms?
duct tape in the store. This is nuts. Listen, remember this. You don't get along. You are divorced. This is what we call a mixed message. So you have one goal, which is get your ducks in a row and leave as quickly as possible.
But physically, how do you arrange the house? Because
you do want to keep as much space as possible. If they're separate bedrooms, by all means. Clearly, you don't want to be having sex with each other. That is really confusing. I think that you should not be dating other people. Keep your love life out. If you're going to be living with each other.
If you date them, just keep it discreet and outside the house?
You know what? I'd like this arrangement to go on for no more than 6 months. Get yourself somewhere, anywhere, even if it's not the lifestyle you're used to. Go to your mother's, go find a friend and stay on the couch. But this is not a great situation to stay.
And if you are going to date, don't bring them home to this
Please
house.
don't bring them home. Don't expose your kids to them. And this is an amicable couple, but most couples, one of you has a broken heart. One of you doesn't want this to happen. It's cruel to be telling that person about your love life. If you're going to live with an ex-spouse, be considerate.
You've also said you need to renegotiate the budget, obviously, for these times. But specifically, what do you say to the kids? It's one thing to sit down and say, we're going to divorce and we'd still love you and all the things that you say, and then say, but we're still going to be living here. Is there something specific that helps the kids who are in the middle of this confounding situation?
Yes, and that's why I tell people you've got to get out, because every kid, no matter what they say they think, is going to want mommy and daddy to come back together. It's really torturing them to say, we're getting a divorce. What's for breakfast? It's kind of very confusing, and no kid is going to understand that. So you say, we're doing this, we are not getting back together, we're doing this because we have to, and we're working as quickly as possible to get out. That's what they deserve. You know, if you don't cherish your partner, then leave and let them find somebody who does. Stop holding on. I understand times are hard, but you have one job, which is to get out as quickly as possible.
And make the kids feel secure.
Secure, clear, and a respectful household.
All right, thanks so much. And if you want to write us and tell us what you think about all this, do so at abcnews.com.